Zoe had always found solace in the quiet order of the library, where the whispers of turning pages spoke a language of comfort and familiarity. Her world was a symphony of cataloging, shelving, and the gentle rustle of patrons browsing. The library was her sanctuary, a place where the chaos of the outside world could not reach her. Each morning, she arrived early, smoothing her hand over the polished oak counter of the reference desk, inhaling the scent of old paper and leather bindings that filled the air like incense. Her life was a series of structured moments, a delicate balance she had honed over years of careful curation. It began with the misplaced books. A first edition of Wuthering Heights found among the cookbooks, a volume of poetry whispering secrets from behind the travel guides. At first, Zoe attributed these anomalies to careless patrons or a momentary lapse in her own meticulous system. But then, the whispers began, not from patrons, but from the books themselves. They spoke only to her, slipping into her consciousness like a draft through a cracked window. As she reshelved them, the words they murmured were not of love or adventure, but of her own heartache, the grief she thought she had buried beneath layers of routine and duty. The whispers grew louder, their voices intertwining with her thoughts, pulling at the threads of her carefully woven life. She found herself staring into space, the words echoing in the hollow chambers of her mind, dredging up memories she had long since locked away. Her hands trembled as she tried to work, the entire library a cacophony of her own sorrow. She began to lose track of time, moments slipping by like pages torn from a book. Her colleagues' concerned looks and gentle inquiries only deepened her isolation, as if she were a ghost haunting her own life. One evening, alone in the dim light of the stacks, Zoe reached for a book that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. As she opened it, the pages fluttered like wings, and she heard the finality of her grief laid bare in the words within. The library, her refuge, had become a mirror, reflecting the truths she could no longer ignore. In that moment of eerie clarity, Zoe understood that the whispers were her own heart's cry for reconciliation. As she closed the book, the echoes of her past faded, leaving her with a silence that was both haunting and liberating. The library was still, and in the quiet, she finally allowed herself to grieve.